Howdy, folks. Kellogg here. I am super excited. Behind me, you see Lake Shasta. And if you've watched much of my media, you know I've spent a lot of time fishing Lake Shasta. But I'm super excited today because I am going out with Jeff Goodwin. He is the brown trout master at Lake Shasta. He does a lot of power trolling. There's going to be a lot to learn in this video. Stay tuned. I'm going to run down this ramp, jump aboard the boat, and we're going to get our fish on. So Jeff, explain to us where we're at and what we're doing.
Well, we're fishing Shasta Lake, and we're trout fishing today. We're looking for some big rainbows, some big browns, maybe some king salmon. I heard a 5.5 pounder was caught in here yesterday. So we're putting out divers right now. Divers are probably one of my number one presentations.
Can you show us what we're pulling?
Yeah. A lot of people want to know. I get lots of messages, lots of emails, lots of questions about these Chinook divers. Right, they're made in the Midwest by a machinist, apparently, who stamps these things out. And basically what they do is they dive and they get your gear out just a little ways away from the back of the boat.
And we're pulling an optimizer spoon back there?
We have an optimizer junior on there. Yes, we do.
Okay.
Orange and copper. Copper's a great color out here. Anyway, so give away my goods here. I'm only letting 15 feet of line out on this diver. So if you can imagine, we're going to be right next to the side of the boat. And for some reason, over the years, I've just come to understand that it's not a bad thing to have your gear right next to the boat. Big aggressive fish will come in and rip these things like, that's their last meal ever. And sometimes it is.
That's very interesting because, a lot of people think you have to have your gear way behind the boat. So you're not afraid to have your gear right near the boat.
Nope. And I stumbled on this by accident, really. I used to try to set my gear out at about 50 feet. And sometime we go way out. We get lots of line out to get down to the depths that we need to. There's a whole technique behind deploying divers. And it's something that, there's a lot of videos on, and, we'll do a tutorial on it one of these days and really just dive into the nuts and bolts of getting these things down to where they need to be during certain times of the year. So right now we have cold water conditions, and so a lot of our fish are going to be up really high in the system. And so we don't want to put our gear down really deep. Even though we're marking fish at 60 feet, I don't care about those fish right now. I'm looking for fish up here that I can't see on my sonar because they're not directly under the boat, right? They're too shallow to be marked by sonar. And it's just time and experience. It tells me that you just want to stay high this time of year to get most of your bites. Not saying you can't send a rod down and hunt those guys sometimes, because every once in a while you will pick up a nice fish down there. But anyways, so we're fishing really close. I used to go out about 50 feet of line with these number 2 divers. And a few years back, I had two diver rods down. We got bit on one of the diver rods. We fought that fish. I went to deploy that rod again, and I had about 20 feet of line out, and the other rod got bit. So I locked down the reel, went to the other rod, started taking care of the other rod. Well, I forgot that I had that only 20 feet of line out on that other rod. And just a short time later, rod folds over, reel screaming, fish on. Okay. And so I took a glance at that line counter. Gotta have line counter reels on these. And understood that, wow, I had only 20 feet of line out on it. So one of my secrets now is that I've been running 15 feet of line out on these divers. They're probably only going about 7 feet deep, and they're right there. I got some videos out where you can see when these fish are coming up out of the water behind the boat after hitting these divers. They're right there. I mean, you got to run to the net to get them because they're going to be there in a second. So it's good stuff. Highly recommend checking those things out, looking at ways to use those. And not only now, but come summertime, you want to have those things in the water. Trust me.
Well, clearly, we are out with a master troller. I told you we were going to learn a lot today, and we are just getting started. Oh, right there. And boy, that was close to the boat. Look at that, on a diver. Looks like a rainbow.
Yep. It's true as such.
So guys, this is something I've long been fascinated with. Jeff is he's using side planners, but he's using snap weights, and I've heard a lot about them. Tell us all about them, Jeff. Show us how they work, and tell us some, how far back to how deep to how much weight. I got nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, when we deploy these side planers, what we're looking to do is to get our gear out away from the side of the boat. And then, we're going to target these fish shallow. So we can't always just flat line with just regular monofilament line. A lot of guys use lead core and such, but I prefer to use the snap weight method. And the snap weight method is very easy for anybody to use. And it's a little less cumbersome than lead core line. And lead core line isn't always the most durable thing. So, you can go through some lead core season after season. But these, all you're dealing with are snap weights. And if for some reason you hang up on the bottom, all you have to worry about is the $3 that you lost.
And that's what is that, about an ounce there?
This is an ounce.
Okay.
This is an ounce. But so generally speaking, this time of year, I'll run between 1 ounce and 3 ounces.
Okay.
And so it's important to understand that when you're using snap weights on these lines, that your lightest weights always go the furthest out, and your heaviest weights always are closest to the side of the boat. And that will help you stay out of trouble with getting lines tangled and stuff when we're bringing fish in and reeling in across other sides of the other lines. So basically, the best way to deploy them and the best way to understand how deep these things are getting your gear is the 50-50 method. Line counters are super important. Okay, we want a 0-hour line counter because we want to understand, we want to know exactly where our gear is back behind the boat. So I'm letting the spoon out, and I'm going to let out 50 feet of line.
Okay? What kind of line do you have there?
This is just regular Trilene XT 15-pound monofilament.
Okay.
Yeah? It's just a tough line that can stand the rigors of dealing with snap weights frequently and also attaching the side planers. These fish they're not line shy. Okay, you don't need to worry about putting super light line on. The only thing a light line will do for you is it pretty much guarantee that you're going to break off a big fish.
It drives me crazy. I have all these people that are obsessed with using 4 and 6 pound tests, and I tell them, yeah, a lot of the fish are going to be pan size, but you got to be ready for the 10-pound trout, and you're probably not going to land on a 4-pound line.
Probably not. Nope,
yeah.
Nope. So 50 feet on the line counter. We're going to attach the snap weight to the line. And these weight clips you can get just about anywhere. But you have to understand that little nipple in there is what keeps this snap weight from coming off. So as long as it goes in on the other side of the line, it's not going to come off. If you just use a regular pinch pad like a downrigger weight clip, and you just get it on the pad, a lot of times when you hook a fish or you set the hook or anything like that, the weight will fall right off.
Gotcha.
So you're just donating some lead to the lake. So we already have side planers out, and so we want to make sure that we don't tangle when we deploy this particular line. And you can do this in this sequence every time, no matter what. The lines always come in the back of the boat, and the lines always go out, straight out the back of the boat. So 50 feet, I hit 100 feet with 1 ounce of weight. 50 feet plus 50 feet is going to get your line down 7 feet deep.
Okay.
2 ounce weight, 14 feet deep.
Okay.
3 ounce, 21 feet deep.
Straight math.
Straight math.
That's straight math.
The only thing that'll
now you're telling me you're going to walk that across that other line, aren't you?
Yep,
okay.
Yep.
All right.
So when I deployed this one, I didn't do 50-50. I did 50 and then 30. So I have 80 feet of line out.
Gotcha.
I have
Okay.
100 feet of line out on this. So I know that when I get this side planer out, I'm going to bypass that line, not only because it's deeper, because I have a heavier weight,
Yes.
right? But when I lock the reel down, it's going to swing out and around. It's going to avoid contact with that other line, and we're not going to get tangled.
So you don't like tangles?
No.
Awesome.
Tangles are time killers. And
Yeah.
they're penny pinchers.
Yeah, they are. That's for sure. Well, that was truly informative. That's really cool. And he's not fooling around. He's got 2 side planers over here. He's going to have a couple over there. So very interesting.
We'll run 3 sometimes.
Wow.
Yeah. So if we're on a really good side planer bite, we'll deploy a whole another set of side planers.
Good deal, Jeff. Thank you.
Yep. So it's just kind of an eyeball thing. There's no set number that you have to go through once you get it out, but you're clearly
beyond it. Yeah.
So
and there it goes.
I lock down the spool. This is going to swing around. And when you get, that's a good picture of distance and separation. When this settles in.
So what are those? Those are probably 3 feet apart, that way.
Yeah. But you can go, what a lot of people don't know about side planers is, and I'll demonstrate it here, is the more line I let out, when I stop this line, it's going to go out even further.
It's going to walk correspondingly further.
Yep. So you can, in theory, you could separate your side planers on the outside 100 feet.
Okay.
And why is that important? Well, when I talk to downrigger gurus, and if you look at the downrigger setup right here, you usually run one straight off the back of the boat, and you run one off to the side. Now imagine you're trying to pick apart a piece of lake. Now how much more quickly are you going to be able to do that, covering 75 or 100 feet of water versus 12 feet?
Absolutely.
Of water, right?
Yeah.
So that's one of the areas that side planers are really effective for. You just cover a lot more water.
Sure. Cover more water, catch more fish. But yeah, big place like this.
Yeah.
I mean, Shasta's huge.
And the amount of lines that you have out.
Yeah.
Right? We can put out 2 more lines. We can run 8 lines out here, no problem.
Fascinating.
Right? Downriggers, the only way you're going to do that is to stack. And if you're stacking, you're tangling. Right? Unless you're really good at it.
Well, this is one of the reasons that trout trolling is so fascinating. You could take it from me out in my kayak with 1 or 2 lines out to trolling in a big boat like this with multiple lines covering a huge swath of depth and width. And it's very dynamic. It's very, very exciting to see this in person. So we've been on the troll for a while. We had glass. We have caught 1 rainbow, but now we've had changing conditions. We got some chop, got a little bit of white capping going on. We're staying in the same area. When you're targeting big fish, you have to be patient. We're pulling big baits, and we're waiting for a big bite. Oh, this is a better fish.
Have your reel all the way to the diver. It may go off again.
It's like a king salmon. A king salmon right there. Outstanding. Yep, let's let him go. Woohoo! All right, we got one on the side planer. He feels heavy. There's that side planer's on there, but I'm not gaining any line, but I'm not going to touch the drag.
Yeah.
So where do you want me to walk this back to? Right to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got the side planer set, so we take them off instead of letting them release and go down the line, right? So we keep the rod tip low, bring it in. As soon as it's close enough, we'll bring it out of the water all the way.
Want me to lift it?
Yeah,
Tell me when.
Up. Keep reeling, keep reeling, keep reeling. Just that simple.
So I'm trying to keep that fish under the surface, guys, with that low rod angle. I don't want him flopping around back there. He was trying to jump. It's a rainbow.
Got that other line.
Oh! That was cool. We were letting him go anyway.
All right, you can tighten the dragon.
That feels like a husky fish. Oh, there's some wicked head shaking going on down there. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. Yes, another salmon. Look at that beautiful king, guys. We're gonna get him back in the water. Let him get bigger. Awesome. Hook up.
All right, and so job one is to get that planer in so we can get tight on the fish, right?
Yes, sir. Do I tie it a little bit or no?
And so we check it, and it's a little loose, so we got that. And we back it off once. Now go ahead. So first, we got to tighten the drag so we can get the side planer in. And then once we get the side planer in, I back the drag off again, right? So we won't need all that pressure because a lot of the weight, because there's lip in the
Yep. And then there's a weight clip on it as well. I'll show you.
That's the full weight on it. All right, so keep reeling. Keep reeling. Bring it to me. See the angle, the depth, the line angle? Now, so we'll back the drag off just a little bit.
Oh, buddy, that's a big fish. Step to your left, Joel. Okay. That's
okay, so the danger here is letting him get too close to the boat before he's ready to come up.
Yeah, man. That fish cleared the water by a good 3 feet. It looked like one of those big silver browns. Wow. Oh my gosh. Look at that fish.
He's hooked in the corner of the mouth.
He is.
Keep coming. As he comes to the surface, when I say lift, bring him to me. Now lift. Yeah, I got him.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Beautiful. What were you saying about patience? Wow.
Thank you, buddy. On your spoon.
Is that one of the spoons from your kit, Jeff?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Outstanding. I guess that's why it's in the kit.
Beautiful.
Tell guys, that one there is just all tore up. It's not the first fish you've caught on that, right, Jeff?
No. And what is it? It's almost 1 o'clock, right? So, like I was saying earlier, first mistake a lot of anglers make is they quit too early, right? Who catches browns at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a beautiful day with no wind on the water?
And they give up too easy.
Right. And the other part of this equation is tried and true optimizer spoons. They do catch big fish.
You know what, folks? I absolutely, and this is the first time I ever fished with Jeff Goodwin. I absolutely love the way he fishes, and I love his philosophy. Patience means a ton. Confidence means a ton. When you're out on the water and you're hunting for, I don't care if you're hunting for pan-sized fish or really big fish, just because you're not getting hit at any, moment in time, that is not the time to start playing, musical chairs with your lures. Get stuff in the water you got confidence in, fish it, and give the fish a chance to respond to that offering. If you're fishing with confidence, it's automatically going to give you that patience to stay in the game until something good happens. And that's what you just saw. We've been trolling for hours, but for a lot of people, that big brown, that was a fish of a lifetime. That was probably 6 pounds, something like that, I'm guessing. It's an absolutely phenomenal fish, and we wouldn't have got that fish if we'd have called it a day early and went in.